chill computer guy right here. We're in propeller head reason. We got a blank slate here. What I wanted to do today, I wanted to talk about using these players, but not like necessarily playing the players. Kind of like using them to come up with chords, emotional chords, chords that are going to fit what you're trying to do. And then afterwards, dropping that into MIDI data and then making some variations to that MIDI data, which is what I always recommend. You want to give a human kind of feel to your MIDI notes. Let's go ahead and start out with maybe a radical piano. I like this, a good thing to come up with here. A good piano, a good soulful kind of piece that we can get the sound we're looking for out of. We're going to go to the players. We're going to put the scales and chords in here. Now, pick what you want to do. I'm going to go with the G minor right here. Now, what you're doing is you're feeling out. You're trying to come up with, I want to go down an octave. So I'm going to go octave down. That's going to add another note. Not a big fan of this piano sound at all, so we're going to mess around with some, pop piano. No. We want to go with maybe lively, dark, grand. Actually, I think this will work. Now, you have the option up here to do a lot of things to the notes. Usually what I do is I mess with this stuff. I try to find something that's working here. That's a good chord right there. So I like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit record and just hit that key real quick. Okay, nothing major. I haven't written a song here, but what I have done, let me zoom in actually. It's hard to see this here. So I like that, okay? There's my first chord. Now I'm going to work off something else here. That's a good second note. So I'm going to hit record again. Hit that key on my keyboard. There we go. So now I've got two basically chords here. There's another one. Hit record. We need one more. Actually, let's just do those three for now. Okay, so this is my first chord right here. So this is going to go from here to the second. This is actually going to go, hit the right arrow key, hit shift, right arrow key. Where's it? Alt? Jesus Christ. I can't remember how to, oh, there we go. Okay, that's what I was trying to do. So we're going to slide this guy down. And what you're doing is you're getting just a real super basic outline, because what you're going to do, oh, there you go. So you hold down control, right arrow. Again, I need to get back in here and do some of this stuff. Okay, but the important thing here is we're going to play these three chords here. Let's play them again. Okay, we got to find one more chord here. So let's mess around here. Something that does bug me about propeller head reason is the fact that when I hit a key on the keyboard, it doesn't highlight here on the piano roll. That really just pisses me off. There's nothing much I can do about it. But I mean, I guess I could let's go ahead and go with this. So I'm going to hit record again, hit that guy. And so basically, by just hitting record there for a second, I'm basically just kind of plotting where the notes are at. And later on, I could stretch them out. Now, I don't know. This might be too low. Let's listen to this. Okay, that'll work. That'll work for now. Again, you want to right click. You want to change the color to something that you can tolerate, because this This disgusting orange that's forced upon us every day when we work in Reason is hard for us to deal with, but we do deal with it. We don't run to Bitwig Studio. We don't run to Ableton. I mean, we could. If we get too frustrated, I guess we could, but I'm not going to. All right. So basically, if you think about it, what we've done is we've plotted 4 notes. So basically what we got our 4 notes now. Now, they are notes, but actually what they are is they're chords because they're running through the player and they're being transformed into chords. Now, I want to get rid of this player, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit send to track. What this is going to do is it's going to basically turn these into the chords, the MIDI data. Now something I highly recommend is either write this down or use Snagit. I use Snagit. I love Snagit. I'm actually going to do a review of Snagit coming up. But yeah, whatever, close this thing. Snagit is a really handy way to take pictures of, basically screenshots, it's screenshots. What I like to do is kind of circle this thing and take a snapshot of it, okay? And then what I have here is I have a snapshot of exactly what this is. This is G minor. It's 3 notes. It's an open chord. It's an octave down. This tells me what's going on here. This is going to be very useful when I write my song because now I know I'm in G minor here. I know my chords are in G minor. Now you can write this stuff down, but the whole idea here is to just get rid of this player. I don't like the player. I don't like them. They bug me. Or you can just fold that up and put it off in left field. Also, that's an option you do have as well. But these are going to be notes that I'm not going to use now. And you can see now if I double click that I have the actual chords. The actual chords generated by the player, which is powerful. So here's our chords here. Let's go ahead and play this from the top. Now, something you'll notice about these chords is they're all exactly 1 bar long. They're all exactly default velocity. They all are exactly start on the grid. There's no variation here. Now, what you want to do is you want to create variation on your chords. Now, you're going to hit the F8, and that's going to bring up your tool window, which is immensely powerful. I love the tool window. And what you're going to do is you're going to mainly use velocity, note velocity, which is right here. I'm going to go ahead and close these down. And then we're also going to use the quantized panel. So these are the 2 panels that we're going to use to give our notes variation. So let's go ahead and take the first chord here, and we're going to just lasso this. You can do this 1 chord at a time, or you can just do this to everything, all at once, which is what I'm actually going to do. I'm going to hit Control A, which will select all the notes, and I'm going to bump this up to where it says, let me go into negative values here. That kind of bugs me because there's a chance that this could get pushed back. I'm going to go to 9. Okay, random 9 ticks. A tick is a very, very small amount of movement. So I'm going to hit apply, and what that's going to do is it's going to shift all these just slightly. Now, if you zoom way in here, you can see what that's done. See how there's some alteration there? Okay, there's that right there. See right there. There's some slight variation. It's very, very slight. Like you really have to get in there and look to see it. Let's see if I can move this over a little bit. Here's the next one. You can see there's some slight variation. Let's go ahead and listen to that with that variation now. Now what that's done is it has given the notes in your chord that were originally generated by hitting a single key via the player, and it has given them just a tad bit more character, just a tad bit more realism. Next up, we're going to do the velocity. Same thing, we got everything selected. We're going to go to random. This is 20%. That's a little too high for me. I like around 9%. Hit apply, and then listen. Now, if you want, you can bring this up a little bit. Bring it up to, let's bring it up to 17%. That's pretty wild. Hit apply. I don't know about you, but I'm hearing like a bass line. I'm hearing all kinds of just listening to those 4 chords. And again, we started with a single key. We used the player plus the tool window, and together created a very kind of human sounding chord progression. Something that has a little bit of variation in it, a little bit of variation in the velocity, a little bit of variation in the start time, and created something that you can write a song around, basically. And again, we turned these into real notes. We got rid of the player. We took note of what key we're in, so we can use that as a reference when we start building our bass line and maybe a top melody or an arpeggiator, whatever the hell you're going to put on here. You know, the sky's the limit. While these are all selected, I'm going to go ahead and increase the ticks to 17 as well, just to see kind of what's going on. Okay, that's a little edgy. That moved those notes quite a bit now. Let's go and listen to that. So what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and put this back to 0, okay? And I'm going to put this back to fixed 100%, and with them all selected, I'm going to hit apply. What this has done is it has completely removed all that variation. It's back to right on the grid, identical velocity. Every single note has the same velocity. Every single note's on the exact grid. Let's listen to this again. Let's Control Z that. Go back to how it was. Let's listen to it again. I mean, what else do you need to hear? Now, it's very subtle, but if you can't hear it, you know, just make dance music and not worry about it. But to me, this gives this chord progression, which is really straightforward. I mean, it's 4 chords, all exactly a bar long. It gives it something. It just gives it some more emotion, if you will. Now you could put some maybe a top melody on top of this. I am definitely the type of person that punches the MIDI notes into the grid, but I think about variation all the time. Super important. Now, another thing you can do is, even though these chords are, you know, they're kind of like laid out and you're happy with this, you're happy with the variation, you're happy with these 4 notes, of course, you can make these shorter and longer, you know, or do whatever you need to do. And you can also, using this pitch option, let's go ahead and open that. You can actually invert some of these chords. Now, they might already be inverted. They might have been inverted with the player, but you can actually, let's say, take this top note here, transpose, put this to -12 here, and invert this chord here. You want to do this either plus or -12. I wish there was a toggle to just reverse the polarity of whatever you have set here, so you don't have to hit this thing 24 times or scroll it up just to flip it around. That'd be handy. But this will actually invert this chord. So if I hit apply, now it's there. Now let's listen to that 3rd chord now. Same thing here. We can invert this top one here. Whoops. Again, you know, have fun with it, but remember to create variation. You can very, very easily invert your chords using the pitch. You can very, very easily create variation in the velocity using the note velocity. And then you can easily create some quantized variation by using this ticks parameter under random ticks. Now I wish you could go into negative values here and push the notes back, but it's probably best because if they go past the start of the clip, the notes won't play, and so your chords would end up a bunch of notes would anything that goes to the left of the note of the clip would turn blue and then not be played. So just remember to start with the player. Start with the player because the players to me they're like a breeding ground for ideas. You can throw a couple notes in there and start to get kind of an emotional build and build a whole track around, you know, in this case a four note chord progression. Started with 4 notes, all exactly a bar long, created a chord progression. So now I could take this and do something else with it, or just put it in my MIDI clips, like chord progression, lively, dark, grand, chord progression. What I'm going to do now with it though is I'm going to go up into the rack here, and I'm going to go into the browser. I'm going to go into the effects. I'm going to go down to the waves. I'm going to put this guy in there because I can. Mainly, that's what I'm going to do. And I should have held shift. You got to hold shift. There's no way to disable auto routing. Hey, that's pretty f***ing stupid, isn't it? Sorry, I didn't mean to. God, I'm just swearing all the time. It's so frustrating. Propellerhead Reason, you're the best DAW. Prove it to me. Disable auto routing. Sorry, I'll always whine about that. Whine about that forever, man. All right, so what we've done is we put a reverb in there. Did you see that? Did you get the reverb? Shit. So yeah, that's what we did. We put a Abbey Road's reverb in there, turned that gray. We put that into the Sind1. So that's what it is. You know, we put the Abbey Road reverb in there. We put that into Sind1, okay? So now we can just go into the mixer. Go ahead and close this panel. We're not going to use it anymore. Now you can blend that into the chord progression here, you know? Line in there, then a hi-hat pattern, then a snare drum with a little delay on it. All right, so the thing that's cool that I love about this Abbey Road's reverb, other than its sound, is you can actually damper. This damper is just the shit. You can really open this reverb up. All right, that's pretty much all I got today. Remember, these tutorials, they aren't for beginners, they aren't for experts, they're for everybody's. Mainly what I try to do is I try to inspire you. Because I know I have not been inspired to make music at all. But using those players and just plugging in a couple of notes, like real minimalistic notes, and then just turning those into chords, you know, making some adjustments to the players, and then turning those into chords, and then just kind of like going from there. You know, you end up with a chord progression, and once you have a chord progression, you can start to build a song around it. It's amazing, you know. Once you just have a chord progression that feels a little, puts a little emotional a little emotional tug in there, you can start to build around that. All right, anyway, Chill Computer Guy, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Give me a thumbs up. Tell a friend about the channel. We got some product reviews coming up. I'm not going to do as many screencasts. I'm still going to do screencasts, but I got some kind of talking head product review type stuff going on. So if you haven't already, please subscribe. Don't want to miss anything. Click that little bell. Leave the comments below what you want to see here on the channel. And anybody can play the piano if you put enough reverb on it. All right, we'll see you guys again. Bye-bye now.